Oh, please, this whole thing is ridiculous. You're acting like I destroyed an entire city. It was just a stupid garden.
Sit down and shut that attitude off, because you clearly have no idea how stupid you sound right now.
Oh, please! You're not my mother. Stop talking to me like I'm some clueless kid.
You think you can scare me with your rules? I'm not here to kiss anybody's shoes, the teenage boy snapped, his voice rising through the tense silence of the courtroom. His mother gasped, the audience whispered, and Judge Judy's eyes sharpened, instantly cooled. Focus, deadly dot. The boy, Aiden Pierce, 15 years old, stood with clenched fists and a burning glare. His whole body vibrated with temper, not fear. He wasn't intimidated. He was ready to fight the whole world if he had to. Judge Judy leaned forward slowly, her tone like a warning shot. Young man, you just volunteered for the worst day of your life. Aiden looked away, jaw tight, refusing to be broken even for a second. His mother, Mrs. Pierce, touched his arm gently. Aiden, please, don't make this worse. Aiden pulled his arm away without even looking at her. The plaintiff, Mr. Walsh, a quietly composed man with sad eyes, stepped forward holding a stack of photos. He placed them on the table, each one revealing something worse than the last broken wood. Shattered models, smashed tools scattered across the floor of his workshop. Judge Judy motioned at the photos. Mr. Walsh, explain exactly why this boy is standing in my courtroom. Mr. Walsh exhaled heavily. Your Honor, Aiden broke into my workshop at 2 a.m. and destroyed a project I've been working on for months. Aiden scoffed. I destroyed it? It was already falling apart. I barely even... Judge Judy cut him off instantly. Don't speak. Aiden's jaw snapped shut, but anger kept pouring out of his eyes. Judge Judy continued firmly. You broke into a man's property in the middle of the night. Why? Aiden stayed silent, staring at the floor as if the truth was boiling inside him, burning to escape but held back by pride. Or pain. Mrs. Pierce whispered, confused. Aiden, why were you there? What's going on? He didn't answer, but his silence was loud, too loud. Mr. Walsh stepped forward again. Your Honor, this wasn't a random act. Aiden targeted my workshop specifically. Judge Judy's eyes locked onto Aiden. Why? What connection do you have to Mr. Walsh? Aiden swallowed hard, still silent, still refusing to speak. Mrs. Pierce's face showed genuine fear, now fear of something deeper. Something she didn't know. Judge Judy turned to Mr. Walsh. Is there a reason this boy would want to harm you? Mr. Walsh hesitated before he spoke. Yes, a long time ago, Aiden's father and I were business partners, until things went bad. Mrs. Pierce's eyes widened. Aiden's head snapped upward sharply, anger flashing across his face like lightning. Mr. Walsh continued softly now. Aiden's father blamed me for our business collapse. It wasn't true, but he believed it. He left town after that. Never spoke to me again. Mrs. Pierce whispered, horrified. Aiden, is this why you did this? Aiden exploded suddenly, voice cracking with rage. You don't know anything. You weren't there. Judge Judy slammed her hand on the bench. Sit down. Aiden froze mid-breath. His chest heaved, his eyes shimmered, not weakly, but with emotion he was trying desperately to choke down. Judge Judy spoke again, more controlled but still sharp. What did you think breaking a man's workshop would solve? Aiden stared at the smashed photo evidence with trembling fists. It wasn't about solving anything, he muttered. His next words came out raw. Honest, broken. It was revenge. The room erupted in whispers. Shocked gasps, uneasy murmurs. Judge Judy raised a hand, calming the storm, but her eyes stayed fixed on the boy, on the pain he couldn't hide anymore. She asked quietly but firmly, revenge for what? Aiden's throat tightened. For ruining our family, he whispered. My dad said Mr. Walsh destroyed everything. Our home, his career, our life. Mrs. Pierce covered her mouth as tears pooled in her eyes. Judge Judy leaned back slightly, absorbing his words, but something still fell off. So you went there at 2 a.m. Why that night? Why then? Aiden's face stiffened. He didn't answer. He couldn't answer, because the real truth was still locked inside him. Mr. Walsh spoke again. his voice uneasy. Your Honor, someone tried to break into the safe inside my workshop that same night. Aiden's eyes widened. Judge Judy noticed instantly. What's inside that safe? Old business documents, Walsh replied. Contracts, financial records, things from the days when Aiden's father and I worked together. Judge Judy looked straight at Aiden. Were you looking for those documents? Aiden trembled shoulders, lips, entire body struggling between fear and anger. Mrs. Pierce's voice cracked. Aiden, please tell us the truth. His voice finally broke, softer than before, wounded in a way that hurt the whole room. I needed proof. Judge Judy's eyes narrowed. Proof of what? Aiden's answer came after a long, painful breath. Proof that Mr. Walsh really destroyed my father. Just like he said. A heavy silence fell over the courtroom. Judge Judy glanced at the plaintiff, sensing that this case was not just vandalism, but the revival of a buried crime, a hidden betrayal, a broken family history. The courtroom atmosphere thickened with mystery and tension. Aiden stared at the floor, voice trembling as he whispered, I just wanted to know the truth. And Judge Judy understood this boy wasn't just angry, he was hurting, and this case was only beginning. Aiden's last words hung in the courtroom like smoke, heavy, unsettling, impossible to ignore. Judge Judy leaned back slowly, her eyes fixed on him as if she were reading every crack in his expression. The boy stood stiff, chest rising and falling in uneven breaths, trying hard not to fall apart in front of everyone. His mother touched his shoulder again, voice shaking. Aiden, why didn't you tell me any of this? He brushed her hand away, eyes still locked on the floor. You would have told me I was wrong. You never believe anything Dad says. Mrs. Pierce's breath caught in her throat. That's not true. But Aiden didn't look at her. He didn't want to. Not right now. Judge Judy tapped her pen gently on the bench, her tone calm but cutting. Mr. Walsh, did you and Aiden's father have financial disagreements? Mr. Walsh nodded slowly. Yes, but I did nothing illegal. We had a business collapse, bad investments, wrong timing, and his refusal to adapt. I tried to save the company, but he wouldn't listen. Aiden snapped his head up, anger flaring again. You're lying. He said you stole from him? Judge Judy raised her voice sharply. Quiet. Aiden clenched his jaw but stayed silent, though the fury still burned in his eyes. Mr. Walsh continued carefully. Aiden's father couldn't handle the loss. He blamed me, even though we both made mistakes. When the company fell apart, he packed up and left. Mrs. Pierce wiped her eyes with a trembling hand. He didn't leave because of the business. He left because he couldn't face what he'd done. Aiden spun toward her. You always defend him, always. Even when he said you didn't believe him ever? Mrs. Pierce shut her eyes, pain twisting her face. Judge Judy intervened, voice steady. Aiden, your father told you Mr. Walsh destroyed his career. Correct. Aiden nodded sharply. The night he left, he told me everything. He said Mr. Walsh cheated him, ruined him, took everything. Judge Judy studied him closely. And that's why you wanted those documents from the safe? Aiden hesitated, then whispered, I wanted to prove he was right. That he wasn't crazy. That he didn't lie. Judge Judy leaned forward, voice dropping to a quiet but firm tone. What exactly did your father tell you, Aiden? Word for word. Aiden swallowed. He said, Walsh stabbed me in the back to save himself. And you remember that when you grow up, son. Mr. Walsh's face creased in guilt and sadness. Aiden, he wasn't well when he said that. Aiden flared up again. Don't talk about him like that. Judge Judy slammed her gavel once. ENOUGH. The courtroom froze. Her voice lowered, but the steel in it remained. Young man, pain does not excuse destruction, but pain also does not lie for no reason. Something happened between these two men, and we are going to find out what. Aiden's defiance faded into confusion, like a storm losing its strength. He didn't even know anymore if he was angry, scared, or just tired. Judge Judy turned to Mrs. Pierce. Did your husband ever show you any documents? Any proof? Mrs. Pierce shook her head. He never kept any records. He was emotional, impulsive. He always believed his gut over evidence. Judge Judy pressed further. Did he ever mention the safe or documents inside it? She hesitated. Once. He said there were papers in the safe that could prove everything. But when I asked him what kind of papers, he yelled at me and walked out. Aiden's voice cracked. He wasn't lying. Judge Judy watched him with a softer eye this time. No one is calling your father a liar. But adults say many things when they are hurt. Sometimes they exaggerate to protect their pride. Aiden shook his head. Not Dad. He only ever told the truth. Mr. Walsh stepped forward, voice deep with regret. Aiden, your father wasn't a bad man. He was overwhelmed. When the business started failing, he panicked. He convinced himself I betrayed him, but I never took a dollar that wasn't mine. Aiden glared at him. You expect me to believe that after everything he said? I expect you to look at the facts, Mr. Walsh replied gently. Judge Judy tapped the desk. Mr. Walsh, you said someone tried to break into your safe. Was it opened? He shook his head. No, just scratch marks and damaged hinges. Nothing was taken. Aiden looked down, ashamed, but still unwilling to back down completely. Judge Judy asked, what is inside that safe? Mr. Walsh answered quietly, everything from the business. Financial statements, emails, partnership agreements. The truth. Aiden's eyes flickered fear, hope, anger, all mixed. Judge Judy turned her attention to him again. Aiden, what did you think you would find? Be honest. He hesitated, voice trembling. Something, anything. That showed Dad wasn't crazy. That he wasn't the one at fault. Mrs. Pierce finally whispered, Aiden, your father was struggling long before that business fell apart. Aiden's voice rose sharply, breaking again. Stop talking like he was weak. He wasn't weak, he just wanted justice. Judge Judy studied him quietly. The anger, the desperation, the confusion. It all came from the same place, a boy trying to protect the memory of a father who was already gone. She finally spoke, calmly but powerfully. Aiden, what would you do if the truth inside that safe proves your father wrong? Aiden froze. His breath caught, his eyes trembled. For the first time since the hearing started, he looked terrified. Judge Judy continued, voice low. Are you prepared to accept the truth, even if it's not the one you want? Aiden didn't answer. He couldn't answer. Not yet. Because the truth was about to tear his world apart, one way or another. The moment the courtroom doors opened again after the short break. The air felt heavier, like everyone was walking back into a room where a storm was already waiting. Ayan walked in last, shoulders stiff, jaw tight, trying to look brave, but his eyes kept darting nervously toward Judge Judy. His parents followed behind him, whispering angrily at each other, clearly blaming one another for the mess their son had created. Lily sat straight behind Mrs. Harper, her small hands gripping the edge of the bench. Her eyes were fixed on John, but this time, there was no fear. Just hurt and a tiny spark of something stronger than fear. Judge Judy entered, robe flowing, expression carved in stone. She didn't look at anyone as she sat. She didn't need to. Her silence alone made everyone freeze. Ayan, she said finally, not raising her voice, step forward. Ayan swallowed hard and walked toward the podium. His confidence from earlier, the arrogance, the childish pride, the taunting had evaporated. Now he looked like a kid standing at the edge of a cliff. Realizing how far down the fall really was, Judge Judy leaned forward slightly. During the break, I reviewed the evidence submitted to the court. She tapped her nails on the desk. Sharp, deliberate, echoing like a countdown. The video recordings from Mrs. Harper's security camera were enlightening. Ayan's mother grabbed her husband's arm. He told me he didn't break anything, she hissed softly. Judge Judy continued. The footage shows you clearly pulling out flowers, throwing stones, and laughing while doing it. And not just once, but multiple times. Ayan's father closed his eyes, exhaling in disappointment, but that wasn't the most shocking part. Judge Judy said, voice tightening. The video also showed how Lily begged you to stop, and how you mocked her. Lily lowered her gaze, cheeks flushing with embarrassment at the memory. Judge Judy shifted her attention to Ayan. Is there anything you would like to say for yourself? Silence. Ayan's lips trembled. He opened his mouth, but no words came. The weight of the footage, the truth was crushing him. Judge Judy didn't wait. You humiliated her, she said. You destroyed something she helped build. You treated her pain like entertainment. Ayan's eyes filled with tears, but he blinked them away quickly, refusing to cry in front of the courtroom. His pride was still fighting to stay alive. Even in defeat, Mrs. Harper clenched her jaw. He didn't only destroy my garden. He destroyed months of Lily's work. Judge Judy nodded. I know. And that is exactly why the consequences will match the actions. A hush fell over the room. Judge Judy turned her gaze to Ayan's parents. Your son didn't just make a mistake. He made a deliberate choice, repeatedly, and he thought he could get away with it, because he assumed everyone around him was too soft, too scared, or too polite to stop him. Ayan flinched. Judge Judy looked back at him. But let me tell you something, young man. Not in my courtroom. Ayan's hands curled into fists, not out of anger this time, but out of shame. Before I give my decision, she said, I want to hear from Lily. Lily froze, eyes widening in surprise. Me, she whispered, double quotes, yes, you, Judge Judy said gently. You have a voice, and right now, your voice matters. Mrs. Harper squeezed her daughter's hand. You can do it, she whispered. Lily walked slowly to the front, her tiny footsteps echoing louder than they should have. When she reached the podium, she took a moment to gather herself, fingers trembling slightly. Judge Judy waited. Patient, calm, encouraging. Lily finally spoke, voice soft but steady. When I saw him breaking the flowers, I felt hurt, not just because of the garden, but because I thought maybe he hated me. Ayan lifted his head sharply, eyes widening. I worked really hard on it, Lily continued, blinking rapidly to hold back tears. Every day, after school, even when I was tired, I just wanted it to be something beautiful. Her voice cracked on the last word. Ayan took a shaky breath. His guilt deepened, pressing into him like a weight he couldn't lift. And when he laughed at me, Lily whispered, I felt small. Judge Judy stepped in softly. Thank you, Lily. That was very brave. The little girl nodded and walked back to her seat, where Mrs. Harper wrapped an arm around her. Judge Judy turned her full attention toward Ayan. Now, she said slowly, you're going to hear your consequences. Everyone leaned forward waiting. Ayan didn't move. He just stared at the floor, heart pounding like a drum inside his chest. The storm had finally reached him, and the lightning was about to strike. For several seconds. The courtroom was so quiet that even the ticking of the wall clock sounded like distant thunder. Ayan stood frozen, palms sweating, waiting for Judge Judy's words to land. He knew whatever came next would change everything. Judge Judy leaned back slightly in her chair. Her eyes locked onto Ayan with sharp precision, like she was stripping away every layer of excuse he had tried to hide behind. Ayan, she said slowly, your actions were not an accident, and they were not done out of ignorance. They were intentional, cruel, and repeated. Ayan's throat tightened. He didn't try to speak. He didn't dare. His mother shifted uncomfortably. His father looked straight ahead, jaw clenched in regret, not at the garden, but at what his son had chosen to become in that moment. Judge Judy continued, voice firm. You hurt someone who never gave you a reason to hurt her? Someone younger, smaller, kinder. Ayan looked up for a split second, just long enough for his eyes to meet Lily's. She quickly looked away. You acted, Judge Judy said. Like kindness is something you can step on. Like someone's hard work is a joke. Like someone's feelings are disposable. Her voice hardened. And I don't tolerate that. Ayan's shoulders sank under the weight of her words. For the damage done, she continued. You will be responsible for paying the cost to restore Mrs. Harper's garden entirely. His father nodded, accepting the decision before Ayan even processed it. But that, Judge Judy added sharply, is the easy part. Everyone looked up. Ayan's heartbeat quickened. His breathing grew uneven, Judge Judy folded her hands. You will also spend the next 4 weekends helping Mrs. Harper and Lily rebuild the garden. Every plant you destroyed you will replant. Every flower you pulled you will replace. Every stone you threw you will remove and reset. Ian's eyes widened in shock. Manual labor. In front of Lily, in front of her mother, in front of everyone in the neighborhood, that was worse than any fine. You will learn, Judge Judy said, exactly how much effort goes into the things you so casually ruin. Ian opened his mouth finally, panic slipping through. But Judge, it was just a garden. The entire courtroom turned toward him at once. Judge Judy didn't even let him finish. Oh, don't you dare minimize it. Her voice cracked through the room like a whip. You didn't just ruin a garden. You ruined someone's pride, their peace, their effort, their joy. And that is far more valuable than a patch of soil. Asterisk Ian shut his mouth instantly. Judge Judy wasn't done. You will apologize to Lily, she said sternly. Not right now. Not forced. Not rushed. You will apologize when you truly understand what you've done. Lily blinked, surprised. Mrs. Harper looked relieved. And until that understanding comes, Judge Judy continued, every time you step near that garden, you will be reminded of the consequences of cruelty. Ian's face flushed with shame. And one more thing, Judge Judy said. Ian braced himself. You will write a full-page reflection to be submitted to this court on why you did what you did and what you learned from it. And it better not be scribbles or nonsense. I want honesty and accountability. His mother nodded approvingly. His father sighed heavily, grateful the punishment had direction instead of destruction. But Judge Judy wasn't looking at them. Her focus remained squarely on a YN asterisk. This, she said, is your chance to grow up. To be better. Not bitter. Ian looked down, shoulders heavy. He felt exposed, small, but not angry. Just embarrassed and for the first time aware. Judge Judy tapped her gavel lightly. Now step back. Ian obeyed quietly, walking backward until he reached his parents. His mother placed a hand on his shoulder, but he didn't lean into it. He just stood there, silent, shaken. Mrs. Harper and Lily exchanged a glance, one soft, one scared, but both relieved. Judge Judy was about to adjourn when Lily suddenly stood again. Judge, she whispered. Everyone turned. Judge Judy's expression softened. Yes, Lily? I don't want him to hate me, she said shyly, looking down at her feet. I don't want him to think I came here to get him in trouble. I just wanted him to stop. Ian's chest tightened. Judge Judy nodded slowly. Lily, I want you to hear something important. This isn't punishment for you. It's protection. Not only for your garden, but for your heart. Lily nodded silently. Then Judge Judy looked at Ian. You should be grateful she cares enough to worry about how you feel. Not everyone gets that kind of compassion. Ian swallowed hard. Judge Judy stood. Court will resume shortly for final remarks before closing. She stepped away, but her words lingered like the last rumble of thunder. Ian didn't move. Didn't speak. Didn't blink. He finally understood what he had. Broken. And he also understood how long it might take to repair it. Asterisk. When the courtroom came back to order for the last time, the atmosphere had changed. The anger, the defensiveness, the sharp tension from earlier, it had all softened into something quieter. Something heavier. Something real. Ian stood straighter now. Not confidently. Not proudly. Just honestly. Like a kid who finally saw the truth of himself and didn't like what he saw. Judge Judy returned to her seat, placed her hands on the desk, and looked at each person in the room. Ian. His parents, Mrs. Harper, Lily. This case, she said, voice steady, is about more than flowers. It's about responsibility, accountability, and the way we treat people when we think no one is watching. Ian lowered his gaze, feeling the words seep into him like cold water. Judge Judy shifted her attention to Ian's parents. I trust that you two will ensure your son completes every hour of the work assigned, and not with complaining or shortcuts. I expect real effort. His father nodded immediately. We understand, Your Honor. His mother placed a hand on her son's back, but Ayan didn't react. He wasn't looking for comfort. Not now. Judge Judy turned to Mrs. Harper. I hope this experience gives your daughter her confidence back. Mrs. Harper offered a grateful smile. Just being heard has helped her more than you know. Lily peeked out from behind her mother, small, fragile, but braver than before. Judge Judy finally looked at Ayan. Young man, she said, you have a long month ahead of you, but if you take this seriously, you'll come out better than you walked in. Ayan swallowed hard. Yes, Judge, he whispered. Good, she replied. Because no one, especially someone younger and smaller, deserves to feel the way you made Lily feel. Not in my courtroom. Not in my world. Her words hit him deeper than any punishment. Judge Judy raised her gavel, but before she could bring it down, Ayan suddenly spoke. His voice was rough, uneven. Judge, can I say something to Lily? A ripple went through the room. Judge Judy hesitated, then nodded. You may. Ayan stepped forward slowly, turning to face Lily. His heart felt like it was lodged in his throat, but he forced the words out anyway. I'm sorry, he said quietly. Not rushed. Not forced. Not faked out. Lily blinked, surprised. I wasn't thinking, Ayan continued. I wasn't trying to hurt you, but I did. And I'm really sorry. I'll fix the garden, everything, I promise. Lily's brows softened. She didn't smile, didn't frown, she just listened. At that alone felt like forgiveness beginning to. GRO Mamu. Mrs. Harper nodded approvingly. Judge Judy watched with an expression that said she had seen hundreds of apologies, but something about this one felt genuine enough to matter. She lifted her gavel. Then consider this a turning point for both of you. Ayan exhaled shakily. Lily held her mother's hand a little tighter. Judge Judy brought the gavel down with a sharp crack. Case closed. The courtroom buzzed back to life as everyone rose. Ayan's parents thanked Judge Judy, and Mrs. Harper gathered their things. Lily glanced once more at Ayan before leaving this time. With no fear in her eyes, Ayan stood still as the room emptied, absorbing everything. The truth. The consequences. The weight of what he had done. And the chance, rare and fragile, to make it right. Outside the courthouse, sunlight spilled across the steps. Mrs. Harper and Lily walked ahead, talking softly. Ayan walked behind his parents, each step heavy but determined. Tomorrow. He would start rebuilding the garden. Tomorrow. He would begin earning back something far more fragile than flowers. Someone's trust. The story didn't end in that courtroom. It was only beginning.